I guess the second part of our Unit 4a.1 notes. Another review. We reviewed ratios. Now we're going to review proportions and how to cross-multiply to solve for a variable in different ways, including some distribution. First thing we'll start off with is that what is a proportion? A proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. Okay, so that's what we have here. We have two ratios in the fraction form. Said in the previous note on the previous video that we would be using the fraction form of ratios to do proportions. A proportion is going to be written basically as A is to B as C is to D. Okay, and we'll cross multiply. So the cross product property here, which you won't need to really know what that is, you just need to know the concept of cross multiplication. For any proportion would look something like this. If I take that A over B is equal to C over D, what's going to happen is we're going to cross multiply these two right here to wind up with AD. We're going to cross multiply the other two, set that on the other side of the equal sign as BC. Okay, so the first one, and sorry about all the numbering here, the numbering's kind of off, but the first one we have here, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. I always suggest if you only have a variable in one place, I suggest that you start with the variable. So we're going to cross multiply 2 times x, which is going to give us 2x. Then on the other equal sign, we will cross multiply the other two. 7 times 4 is going to give you 28. Then you divide. Okay, this is just your simple very simple basic proportion. Divide both sides by 2. We find out that x is going to equal 7. Okay. The next one is going to be a pretty basic one as well. Start with where our variable is. Cross multiply. We're going to get 10 times x is 10x. Cross multiply 19 times 12. We're going to get 208. Again, now the last step, divide both sides by what's attached to our variable, which is 10. And we find out that x is going to equal 20.8. Okay? Now we're going to start looking at what happens if it's not just a variable by itself in one of the numerators or denominators. So here the first thing, again, start with that variable. We're going to cross multiply these. We need to remember that this means 19 times, in parentheses, x minus 1. So we need to remember here that we need to distribute. So we're going to distribute here 19 times x. We're going to wind up with 19x. Then we distribute that 19 times a negative 1, give us negative 19. That becomes a minus 19. Okay? On the other side, we only have two numbers, so pretty basic there. We have 6 times 13 will give us 78. So we don't just get to cross multiply and divide on this. We do have to do a little bit more work because of the distribution. So solving for x, we add 19 to both sides. So we should know. Wind up with 19x is equal to 97. Divide both sides by 19. X will come out to 5.1. When we're doing this after I set it up with you, I really highly encourage that you pause the video, work it out on your own. It's the only way you're going to really truly learn and know if you're doing this correctly. And then resume the video to see if you did the steps correctly. For instance, on this next one, we'll start off with our variable here. We'll cross multiply, and I can help you set that up. We have that 5 and then parentheses x plus 4. So we want to pause, distribute, and then resume to see if we got it correct. When we distribute, we wind up with 5x plus 20. On the other side, we have 17 times 19, which is going to give us 323. So again, even though it's a basic two-step algebra problem, I need you to pause it, work it out on your own, Press resume, please. Subtract that 20. We get 5x equals 303. Divide by 5 on both sides. X is going to come out to approximately 60.6. And at this point, I encourage you to pause and try this next one all completely on your own and see what happens. Again, I've done 2 of them for you, and you've got the work. If you're doing exactly what I have, you've got the work here. So this is, again, best way to learn. Do you actually know how to do this on your own? Or if you need to be walked through this one, please try the last one on your own. Here we will start with the variable 20 times the 2x minus 9. We will distribute. We will come up with our 40x, and we distribute that 20 times the negative 9. We will come up with minus 180 equals, cross multiply the other side to get 90. Add 180 to both sides. We will have 40x is equal to 270. Again, I move very fast with this, and that's why I need you guys to pause it. Make the video shorter so that you can pause and then resume, and I go very, very quickly through this. So you don't have to watch a whole lot. Find out that x is going to come out to approximately 6 7/75. Right, last one. Cross multiply and showing the distribution, all of our work. Wind up with 54x plus 72. On the other side, we cross multiply 12 times 15. We'll get 180. Again, solve for x on your own. And I'm going to walk through the steps here silently. Actually, kind of messed up there. Let me redo that. That is a 54x. We'll have it equal to 108. X should come out to 2. All right, just your review of your proportions. So that in the next set of notes, when we start looking at doing some more proportions later on in the unit, we've got this practice, and we have also practiced and reviewed distribution.